Well, it was my first ice fishing trip of the season, and I was out on this small lake all by myself. I drilled a few holes and immediately saw a fish on the flasher. It took a few seconds to work out the jitters, but on the very first drop, I hooked into a great fish. I had to be really careful working this fish because I had a double hook setup and I didn't want the extra hook catching on the ice or hooking me. When you're fighting a larger fish, it's important that you don't grab the line, since that usually results in the fish breaking off. Let your rod fight the fish. I wasn't pulling on the line, but I had to keep the line centered in the hole so it wouldn't get caught on the ice. This was a really fat 20-inch rainbow, plumb full of 1-inch bluegill fry. This lake is undergoing a severe drawdown for dam repairs. With the low water, oxygen deficits are a possibility and many of the fish may not survive through the winter, so I opted to keep a few fish for a meal. My first setup was a double rig with a vertical jig on the bottom and an octopus hook above, baited with either Gulp Alive waxies or a night crawler. When spikes or waxworms are scarce, which is a common occurrence where I live, having a good artificial bait like Berkley Gulp products is a good option. The bluegill fishing today was excellent, with some very nice quality bluegills, many of which were from 8 to 9.5 inches long. This longer 4-foot 6-inch rod is usually my dead stick rod, but I kept fishing with the double rig for a while since the fish were hitting it so well. Notice some of the bites barely show on the rod tip. I don't think I'd have caught half as many fish today had I not been holding the rod in hand and paying close attention. A double rig allows you to offer multiple baits to the fish at different depths, increasing your opportunity to trigger fish into biting and maybe even getting a double hookup. However, there is a downside to using double rigs. That extra hook can and does catch on other things such as the ice, transducer cords, and also poses a risk of hooking you as well. Notice with these next few fish how the extra hook was a potential liability. Here, the bottom hook catches on the ice, preventing me from pulling the fish to me. This time, the top hook catches the transducer cord. I was lucky the fish didn't get off. Later, I hooked into another nice trout, and as I was pulling my transducer out of the hole, the top hook caught on the ice and the trout was able to break my 4-pound leader and escape. After that, I switched to my shorter rods with a single lure. Having a fish finder such as this Markham ice troller really helps a lot. I could see the bluegill were suspended at about 5 to 8 feet over 11 feet of water. Using the flasher, I was able to watch my lure fall to the level of the fish, and then I was also able to see how the fish were reacting to my presentation. A quivering motion combined with short hops and short pauses was the ticket to triggering these bluegill today. I had a pretty good bite going with spoons and jigs tipped with bait, but there are times when using bait can be a burden. Fish destroy or steal natural baits quickly, which necessitates having to refresh your bait regularly. Today, the fish were so active that I figured I probably didn't need bait anymore, so I switched over to a small jig with a small plastic tail that wiggles enticingly. Since this lure has no natural scent or movement, I have to impart the action. The bluegill were all over it and obviously didn't care about the live bait. It was a great first day on the ice for 2018 and 19 season. Get out and enjoy the great fishing.